Plantation did not just need labor, it needed division. In 1676, Virginia burned, and with it, so did the illusion that the colonial order could not be challenged. This is the story of Bacon's Rebellion, a moment of multiracial uprising that terrified the ruling class and shaped the systems we still live under today. The rebellion wasn't led by an enslaved person, not a prophet, but by Nathaniel Bacon, a young, angry, privileged planter. His fury at Governor William Berkeley's corruption tapped into a powder keg of discontent. And then the fire started. Jamestown was set ablaze, not just by flames, but by a cross-racial alliance that threatened everything. Poor white farmers, indentured servants, enslaved and free Africans. Side by side, they rose up, not just against a governor, but against a rigged system. They saw through the plantation's lie. Together, they set fire to more than just buildings. They threatened the foundation of elite power. It wasn't the flames that frightened the elite. It was the smoke. It was the possibility of solidarity across lines of race and status. And that terrified them. The elite had a problem. Poor whites and black laborers worked together. They married, escaped, even rebelled together. If that alliance had lasted, it could have collapsed the entire plantation economy. So, instead of fixing the inequality, they created something more sinister. Let's begin with Governor William Berkeley's stark admission. In the aftermath of Bacon's Rebellion, Berkeley confessed how fragile elite control truly was. How miserable that man is that governs a people where 6 parts of 7 at least are poor, indebted, discontented, and armed. This wasn't just poetic exaggeration. This was political panic. Berkeley is describing a society on the edge of revolt, where the vast majority of people live in poverty, are drowning in debt, angry at their government, and dangerously well armed. This quote isn't about sympathy, it's about fear. Berkeley saw clearly that maintaining control over the colonial population required more than force. It would require division. He and others realized, when the poor and powerless unite across race or class lines, the ruling class trembles. Virginia lawmakers rewrote the rules. They tied blackness to permanent slavery, even for children. They handed out land and gun rights to poor whites. They outlawed interracial marriage and criminalized black autonomy. Their goal wasn't justice. It was to break the alliance. Race became law. Division became policy. And it worked. Racism wasn't just a byproduct. It was engineered, a technology of control, to divide the working poor, to isolate resistance, to protect power. This was a turning point. The system learned, don't just crush a rebellion, restructure the world to prevent it. As W.E.B. Du Bois later wrote, the elites offered poor whites a wage of whiteness, not material freedom, but the illusion of superiority. Historian Howard Zinn put it plainly. The answer to the problem of the discontented poor was to make them feel superior to someone else. And it still works. When workers strike, billionaires fund culture wars. When communities protest police violence, they send in tanks. When teachers demand better schools, they're called radicals. The system may evolve, but the tactic stays the same. Divide, distract, suppress. But the fear remains. the fear that the people might link arms again, that they might remember their shared struggle, their shared power. What if the rebels had won? What if solidarity, not supremacy, had defined the American experiment? What if this country had been built not on division, but on justice? We were never meant to ask those questions, but now, more than ever, we must. Once we understand the fear that built the wall, we remember that we still carried the hammer. Still. These thinkers, writers, and historians help illuminate this truth. Edmund Morgan, American Slavery, American Freedom. W.E.B. Du Bois, Black Reconstruction. Howard Zinn, A People's History of the United States. Barbara Fields, Slavery, Race, and Ideology. Ronald Takaki, A Different Mirror. Ira Berlin, Many Thousands Gone. Their work echoes through this rebellion, and through the future we still have the power to shape. These scholars didn't just write history, they exposed its scaffolding. They pulled back the curtain. They gave us the tools to see the lie, and maybe the courage to tell the truth.